There we are. So, good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday of week 5. Is this 5? 4,
I've lost
5?
track.
Um, this is your 10 to 13 focus. You're with two of the we have good teachers. We do have good teachers. Um, Two of the best teachers. We'll say the whole company. Why not? And let's just go there. Let's do. No one's watching yet, so they're gonna have to go back and find this on YouTube to find out, hear us, flaunting and all over ourselves. So, um, I'm Seth. I'm from the United States. I'm from Ohio. I'm 37. I'm I've lived in Milan for 3.5 years. Is there anything else that's important? You
Not
know
that
me
I.
well enough. Okay.
Happy Monday, everyone. Whenever you see this, I hope you guys are having a great Monday morning. We have our resident spiritual leader, Sam. My name is Michelle. I'm from Pakistan. I've been living in Milan for 3 years now, and Seth and I teach at the same school together. And today, our focus is a really fun focus. We are talking about fads and trends.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice one. This is a cool one. If you're at home, please, anything you see on the screen that you want to respond to, just type us a message. Feel free even to ask us some questions. We will do our best to pull you in to the conversation. Otherwise, here we go. I thought you would like this one, Michelle, because I think of you as being not not into fads and not trendy, because that would to me would not be a compliment.
No, it would not.
But you know what's going on and you do it well.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. But so do you. I've never
Do
seen
I?
you shabbily dressed or badly dressed. You're always really well put together.
I try. I think maybe even, well, so are you. You're even good. We are even good at, on the days when we don't want to look like we don't want to put on the best. We can even put on like our bad clothes, but our bad clothes are still, like, our comfy clothes are still nice looking.
Yeah, I would like to think so. My mother once said,
I
if you
mean,
don't own ugly clothes, you'll never wear ugly clothes. That stuck with
but
me.
that's the other part of it too. So I guess yeah, like comfy clothes though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's the one, like, if you saw what I was actually wearing today, I have this really old pair of pajama pants on. They're comfy, and no one's gonna see them anyway, so I don't care. You know?
absolutely. Comfy wear, and we also call that lounge wear, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
what you wear to lounge about. So, lounge is both a noun and a verb. As a
Hmm.
noun, it is the room in your house where you just hang out with your family. So, the common room in your house.
Yeah.
And to lounge around is just to sit around the house doing nothing important,
And
really.
put down, yeah. Kind of like, it's like relaxing in a certain
Yep,
way. It's just we're doing a lot of lounging
we
lately.
are.
A lot of lounging.
That's why we're all
And
wearing
I,
lounge wear.
yeah, yes. Are you from like the waist down? Are you in loungewear?
I'm wearing shorts.
Because, like, here you look, it's like, I have to go to work, and for us right now, work is a window. So, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So today, do you want to read what we are doing today?
hmm Fads and trends. In this focus activity, discussing fads and trends, vocabulary, and comparatives. Okay, so this is
Yeah,
a fun focus.
so it is. And there's like lots of we can extend this over many sort of like different topics as well. So like there's sort of pushes it towards fashion because it's easy. It's maybe the easiest area to use these words, but you can use it in lots of other situations. Would
Mhm.
this guy would he be a hipster? Is that hipster?
I think
Do you
that's
like it?
definitely a hipster. Not particularly, because how would we define a hipster, Seth?
I would. Well, the weird thing with hipsters is like when hipsters became a thing. I was not
Right?
living. I was living in China, and it didn't really happen in China because China's big enough and the culture is strong enough, that they have they have their own fads and trends.
Right.
And like if you think even in Milan, some of the Chinese you see walking around, they have their own fashion, they have their own looks.
Yeah.
And so when I came back to China, people were calling me a hipster and I found it like offensive. I don't think
Ooh.
it's not offensive, but like I was just like, I don't because the impression I got when I came back and everyone the word like was being used everywhere.
Right.
And when I would hear people say it, I didn't really understand what it was, but what I always understood were two things was that like everyone who it was a it was a confusing thing to me because no one wanted to like be a hipster, but everyone was.
Yeah.
Because isn't the idea of being a hipster is you're like so unique that no one's like you, but then
Right.
everyone looks like the dude in this picture.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I found
I think that
and I
is also very true.
And when I came back from China, I had really, really weird clothes because I had been living in China. And you've still seen some of my clothes, my pizza sweater. I had really bright clothes. And so people were calling me a hipster. And I was like, I don't think I'm a hipster. I just this is my style. I lived, living in China, I was already way outside of normal people because I wasn't Asian looking. I didn't look Chinese. So I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do what I want. I was a real hipster, a true I,
Right. No, that's true, right? Because the idea of being a hipster is being really individualistic, really different. It's this counterculture that's away from what's mainstream. But it's like you said, it's ironic because so many people decided that they liked the counterculture, that the counterculture became mainstream. So now being hipster is mainstream. It's no longer being individualistic.
yeah. And but mainstream is a word that fits really, really well in with our fads and trends. Oh wait, before we keep going, Cinzia, hello Cinzia. We
Hi.
were we talked right over you. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome. How would you describe? You use the word mainstream a few times, which is like it's a pretty cool word and it fits really well. How would you describe? I'm writing your definition. Mainstream.
I would think mainstream are those ideas, the culture, the music that's considered normal. So the majority of the population accepts it, thinks it's cool. Like Justin
Yeah,
Bieber's music, it's very
yeah,
mainstream.
right. So it's sometimes something that is a fad or a trend might become mainstream,
True, true.
but it doesn't have
Um,
to.
right, and a great example, if for example, is the bell-bottom jean, right? The
Hmm.
jeans. So
Yeah,
in the 70s, they took off, and now, if you notice, they're becoming mainstream again. They're
Again, yeah.
swooping back into what we consider a trend or a fad, and they're becoming mainstream.
Do you like them?
I do. I do like the 70s vibe. I've always wanted to wear a crop top and like massively massive like bell bottoms, which like are as big as my face,
Like super huge bell bottoms.
super huge, with like chunky
One of
claws.
my good friends, yeah, one of my good friends in high school, she used to make them. She would buy jeans and she learned how to, you basically just you cut the sides and she would add fabric. So what was fun
Ooh.
too is when she would walk the inside, and she got really good at it. So she could make them look like they were sort of like wavy around. Like she had all different,
Wow.
and she was like total hippie girl. I mean, a lot. Um, so her whole wardrobe fit it really well. But yeah, she learned to make them, and she had. Oh goodness, she was a crazy girl.
Okay, you use the word
Yeah.
hippie. That's different from hipster,
Uh-huh.
right? So how is that
Oh
different from
goodness, I
hipster?
never put these together. So the hipster is the thing happening now, is
Right.
like a modern, um, cultural sort of group. Hippies still exist, but hippies, I think hippie in Italian is the same word, but like, um, when did that begin? In the 60s? Yeah.
Hmm.
And the hippie culture really grew out also of, I think it was several things, but there was like drugs. I mean, that was a
Hmm.
big thing. Um, it was sort of, wasn't it sort of counter Vietnam? I mean, there was like
Right.
this
Hmm.
because of the Vietnam War. So the hippies were this group of people, like I think the sexual revolution
Mm.
was a big thing that pushed it forward in the United States, and I think it started in the United States. I think it's a California thing that
Hmm.
spread everywhere. But so
Free
and like
love,
it's very easy to
drugs,
free love,
peace.
yeah, yeah, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. No, that's different too, though. But like, but um, yeah, and flower power. Oh goodness, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
That's like posh hippie. Um, but my dad was like half hippie.
Your dad.
My dad was more like um my dad was kind of like hardcore punk hippie. Like my dad was pretty like the music that my dad listened to, my sister and I are like he definitely had the drug part going on. Like but you listen to that and you're like, okay, dad, wow. So anyways, probably should not continue that conversation here. So
I don't think your dad would
I will
appreciate it.
click. I don't know. He talks about it sometimes rather freely. So,
Nice.
um, yeah. Well, it's part of who he is.
Yeah.
I was laughing. I also chose this photo. The first thing I thought when I saw this, I have that sweater.
You
you know
do.
that that
Something
sweater I
similar.
get. I bought a sweater recently
Yeah,
from Benetton that looks pretty darn close to this. So,
it does.
I love that sweater.
It's really cute.
What do you think?
Um, I think that their hairstyle is a bit dated. I think if you
Yes,
fix
dated.
their hairstyle, if their hairstyles were a little bit more modern and the cut of their clothes was a little bit more modern, they could easily pass for 2020. What I find with
Yeah.
fashion is that you take trends or fads which have been in the past, which have been used in the past, and then you update it in a certain way to make it more appropriate for the current time. So if you look at these sweaters, for example, the color and the pattern is very similar to something you would find now, but the cut, the way it
Yeah.
fits and the way it's supposed to look on you is a little bit different, which makes this look
Hmm.
dated. But
For
other
me, the
than that,
pants in particular, guys'
exactly.
pants with the or with the really crisp uh what do we
Yeah,
call the line from the iron? It's the pants look particularly old to me.
yeah, because pants these days don't really have pleats. We prefer them flat.
Yeah. But she also like she looks like she could be almost from today. I mean, it's not that much
Yeah,
different.
she could easily be someone you spot walking around California, Milan.
Hmm. I like the sweaters a lot. I really do. We have some questions.
Hmm.
Video that we're supposed to watch that we're not going to watch, but we can just sort of use, and already we've started doing this, just sort of questions and apply it to the picture. Or if you think of other things we can do. But actually, we may have already hit most of the questions.
Hmm.
Do you think they're in style? You talk about that it's in a certain way, they sort of are in style in this picture. um, could do that fashion is usually just reinventing something that happened before, just reinterpreting it
Hmm.
in a new way. Let's go into the vocab. Unless you have anything you want to add, I'll go on.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So, vocab. Um, okay, so I will read the blue, and then Michelle, you can read the red, and anyone at home
Hmm.
watching, you begin connecting for us. Okay? So if you're at home, start connecting, and you and I can read. So our blue words are outdated, to catch on, to fit in, to come back, in style, on trend.
And the
Can you
red
read the red?
part, yep, very fashionable in the moment, to be socially accepted by others, popular or fashionable, not modern or current, the return of something from the past that becomes popular again, to become popular.
All right. So we can start slowly connecting these, and hopefully someone watching will help us out. Do
Hmm.
you want to do the first one?
Sure. So first up, we have outdated, and we've already spoken about that. We use the word dated, and it means the same, not modern or current.
Okay. Oops. Okay. So sorry, I double clicked. So if something, well, in this case, with if we think more of outdated, what do we use it with anything though, right? I mean,
Yep.
clothes, anything that technology, or
Ideology.
yeah, an outdated phone, um,
Phones,
anything really.
ideas. Yeah, it
Um,
could be anything. Ideas, fashion, technology. What
yeah,
else?
music, anything. Um,
And language
yeah,
as
usually things
well.
like that. It's true, even language, even maybe slang or something.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Okay, so the next one, I'll continue. So to
Hmm.
catch on is we already have it. So to become popular. So when um something, I don't know, yeah, what within fashion again, like is there anything right now that's becoming, well, I have a feeling that probably during this month, when I thought when I was trying to think of an example, is maybe it was catching on, but now it went away. The first few weeks of quarantine, people were doing these like viral things, going out on their balconies and singing, or you know, like one night we went out with our we put the light on our phone, and there were a lot of, and so it was sort of catching on, but now it's stopped. At least where I live, I think everyone's like, all right, well, that was fun for a week. It didn't
Yeah.
catch on. Actually, it didn't catch on. So it was a nice idea, and then everyone was like, all right, well, let's just stay inside.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, next up, to fit in. And I would say to fit in is to be socially accepted by others. Um, so we would use this when we talk about cliques, right?
ooh,
um,
nice word. Yeah.
a clique is a group of people in. Have you guys watched
You know
Mean
what I'm thinking?
Girls?
Yeah, I'm like the art freaks, the mean, I'm the Asians, the hot Asians. Like I'm on best movie
Right.
ever.
Yeah, it's a group of people, of a subgroup of people in a larger group, from a larger group of people who interact with each other because they share common interests, like teachers who hang out together.
Yeah, cliques happen all the time. Probably even at work, there are everyone probably at their job has groups of people uh who they're better friends with. I'm looking for something while I'm doing this. I knew it would make you laugh. You saw it? You can't sit with us. That's Michelle and I love this movie, Mean Girls, and we regularly use the GIFs to communicate. That's what that was. Um, we definitely have our own work. We do. All right, I'll keep going. So um, to come back, this one, so this phrasal verb you probably already know is like the idea of coming back home. So
Right.
so it can have that sense. And so basically, if we apply it to a trend or a fad, it's the same idea. So something like you even talked about when you were talking about bell bottoms, that they're coming back. So something that, where is it? There it is. The return of something that becomes popular again. It's coming back. Sometimes we even
Hmm.
say that something is making a comeback.
Mm. It's the same thing, right?
And
Making a comeback.
yeah, and like I think that one even gets used like with musicians. Like if you know like some singer from the '90s starts
Hmm.
makes another album and the album is good, you could say, oh, they're making a comeback.
Right,
Or they're
absolutely.
coming back. So in fashion, bell bottoms are like but bell bottoms are becoming kind of like standard now. I think it's just
Yeah,
the
they've come
size of
back.
them that's it's just the size of the bell bottom that goes through phases of trendiness. Because like the boot cut is like the safe bell bottom.
The blue cut is timeless, right? Because it looks good on everyone. It doesn't matter which season, summer, winter, autumn. You wear a boot cut and you just look pulled together.
I like boot like with the proper pants. I like a boot cut
Hmm.
too.
I do like a good boot
You know,
cut, you know?
I
In
have like a
summer,
nice sweater.
you can roll it up. In winters, it falls nicely just below your boot.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes, it can look real. It can look nice. I used to have so many pairs of boots. It was ridiculous. There was a moment when it was like when I was in university, like that was like the thing, boot cuts, and then the flares started getting bigger again, and then the flares stayed girls. When I was working at the Gap, I was working at the Gap, and I had so many jeans. Oh my god!
Did you get an employee
Okay,
discount?
you want? Of course I did.
So jealous.
50%, 50%. I had so many clothes, Michelle. It was crazy. I had so many
I'm so
clothes. It
jealous.
was really fun. I should get a job at Benetton.
That's what
Oh
I
my
was
gosh. I'd
thinking.
have the
After this is
brightest
over.
clothes.
Next up,
All right.
we have
You want to go
in
on?
style. hmm I would say in style is something that is popular or fashionable. Um, yep,
Yeah.
right. Like we said, bell bottoms are in style, meaning they are popular or fashionable.
Which
And
this is
those,
our last one, which is
Mhm.
very fashionable in, I would say, at the moment because of where I'm from. But anyways, um,
Right.
and
I would say at
actually
the moment as
on
well.
trend. Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
would you
I would
say?
say.
I think I would
Mhm.
say it's trendy. I think I would use the word trendy. It's a trend or it's trendy, but um, they're all the same, of course.
Right.
But mm,
I think I would use both depending on the context. So if I was being more colloquial, I would say
yeah,
trendy. But if I was being more formal, almost, I would say it is on trend. The same way you would say it's on brand, right? They have different meanings, but
yeah.
similar way to use them.
Do you think there's a difference between, because here we have in style, on trend, we've used the word fashionable. Do you think that these words are express different things?
I think they do, right? Because fashionable, to be fashionable, you don't have to be trendy, right? You can have your own sense of style, which is not necessarily on trend, but maybe it's timeless, maybe it's eclectic, right? So you can still be fashionable, like, and we see that in Milan, right? You have, like you mentioned, the Chinese who have a different sense of fashion, but it looks great, and I would say they're very fashionable. Whereas on
Yeah.
trend would be wearing those key pieces which designers have said are part of this season's look.
Yeah. Cynthia says so a fad is for a short period, which I think fad can even it is sometimes used like in a negative way, don't you? Oh, don't buy that, it's a fad. It's
hmm
gonna go away.
hmm
It's not, or like, you know, it's not fashionable because fashion has the idea of like you said, like making a statement. And if something's a fad, it's like it's you're not making a statement because everyone's doing it. So it's not
Right.
really special anymore.
hmm
Um, what are things now that are fads or trends or um, do you know like in fashion what things are?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I know last summer we had the neon fad, which I
Yeah,
did not appreciate at all. But that was really in, and everyone was wearing, either a neon bag or neon shoes. As far as shoes went, I thought it was cute, but when it went to jeans and jackets and t-shirts, I thought it was a bit much.
oh, you
For
know what
me,
I've been
at least. hmm
is yeah, no, I agree the colors. But what about like in not it didn't catch on a whole lot, but there was a lot of for women especially, but for women especially with shoes, with for men more with coats, but like gold and silver, like metallic. Like
Right.
that's something that I think in the fall was it was not huge, but I just remember like the first few times I saw these like gold shoes, being like, oh wow, like those shoes are gold, and
Yeah.
that was kind of new. And then jackets that were the same, like a silver jacket.
Yeah.
Um, so the metallic thing
Right.
would
And
have
I
been
think
maybe a little bit of a trend. It wasn't a
definitely,
huge thing. It didn't.
definitely. Chintzia says, is classic the opposite of fad? Yes, you could say something that is classic and timeless will last you forever, right? So, but something that's a fad, like a neon colored jacket, is something you will not wear repeatedly year after year.
Yeah. For men, the classic like casual clothes are jeans and a t-shirt. That's
Mm-hmm.
classic guy, jeans and a t-shirt. When I think of like women, like formal, I think of like the Chanel, the little black dress. Like, so yeah, classics are things that are not ever going, that are in fashion or not, and it's not even that they're fashionable. It's because they're classic. So those things that you know you can wear that won't be judged as being too showy or old-fashioned because they're just always okay. Um, what like in Milan, the blue suit is the classic business
Yeah,
suit for men. The blue
true.
suit with the yellow tie, like that is Milan business. Um, what do you think, Michelle? What are like the classic like women's things?
I think, like you said, a little black dress. I think everyone has a black dress, which is not too short, not too long, not too revealing, not too grandmotherly, which we would call matronly. You know.
Matron,
Um,
yeah, nice word.
so I think that that's definitely something that is timeless for formal wear. I think for casual, it's the same as with men: blue jeans, white t-shirt. That's a classic, right?
Yeah.
As far as shoes go, I think, standard pair of stilettos, standard pair of boots, and for summer, espadrilles.
Yeah, those shoes are pretty standard now. They're pretty can always be safe with those.
Mm-hmm. Chinthia, what is your go-to classic style? I'm sure you have a few pieces in your closet which, when you don't know what to wear, you think, okay, this is perfect because it always works. What is that for you? Guys, write to us and let us know. Share your thoughts with us, please. We love it when you guys interact.
Yeah. Oh, I love this picture. This to me looks like what's her like Vivian Westwood and like it looked like
Yeah,
Vivian Westwood and the Wizard of Oz like had a baby.
had a baby.
Punk and the Wizard of Oz. Um this first question what about in music? What's trending in music? You know, people I don't follow like the super what's current in music so much, but um
I
do
think
you know
right
any
now
what
TikTok is trending, so all the music on TikTok is trending. Like, the song "I'm bored in the house, I'm in the house bored, bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored." Have you heard that?
no. But now I will go look for
I think
it.
Lizzo is really popular.
TikTok would be a good example of something that's definitely trending in social media. Like it's kind of like the big I don't do you think it would be no, TikTok's not a fad 'cause TikTok is huge. It's gonna stay around, I think. I don't have do you
I
have
hope
TikTok?
not.
I don't have TikTok. Um, but I don't even know what it is to be honest. I just know it's kind of like a WhatsApp kind of thing, isn't it?
I
It's a
think you would
it,
actually have a lot of fun on TikTok, Seth.
don't tell me this.
Yeah, you would.
Uh,
So basically, what it is that they have a bunch of like recordings, so music snippets, the bridge, the good part of every song, and then you can do a little like dance and edit it, and then put it together. It's fun.
Jeez. Um,
I'm gonna send
do
you
you think
some.
it's Okay. Do you think it's trending, do you think it's like gonna be it's probably gonna turn into that's usually what happens with social media stuff is like one thing turns like, but what was the Snapchat
Mhm.
for a while was like Instagram was a fad that became a trend that became mainstream. Like Instagram is with us, but TikTok will probably last until something else happens that's cool,
Hmm.
cooler.
Yeah. And I think
Um,
TikTok has become so popular because people have nothing to do, right? So you're stuck indoors and you've watched everything on Netflix. So now, the next frontier is TikTok.
yeah, yeah. Um, let's look through these. So I'm gonna read these. Some of these we've been talking about, so we can jump
Hmm.
over. But like, what would you say is on trend at the moment? We've already done this. Um, did it catch on fast, or did it slowly become popular? At home, also, Chintzia, I can see you're following along with us. So if you want to, if you have any ideas, please do type them to us so we can know what you're thinking. Um, Number two, has there been something that has come back into style recently? How did it become popular again? So you said flares or bell bottoms.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think real fast when I look through this. Oh, like usually this has like seasonal trends are like in the winter, like corduroy.
Mm,
Corduroy tends to be a winter fabric. That's maybe
right.
not so much a well, that would be a trend, maybe. That wouldn't be a fad, but um
Yeah, absolutely.
how
Oh, you
thick
know what?
the cord is.
Very smart. Yeah.
Because I really like corduroy, but I remember at one point when I was like in university, they were really wide, and I didn't like it. I didn't buy it. But then the really thin ones, they're just like a good, a comfortable width
Yeah.
corduroy. Um, let's see. If number three, if you had a friend whose style was outdated, would you tell them? If they asked you if they were in style, what would you say? Oh, that's a little tricky.
If I had a friend whose style was outdated, I would not say anything because everyone has their individual sense of style. So it might be outdated for what's current right now, but maybe they enjoy it. And fashion is meant to be enjoyed. It's your personal expression of style. But if they did ask me for my opinion, I would tell them the very same thing, that maybe it doesn't reflect what's in style currently, but fashion is meant to be enjoyed. And if they're comfortable with what they're wearing and they're enjoying it, then it doesn't really matter.
I would agree with you because even nowadays, the way I think about clothes is more like just like that. Like I mean, I know that if for people who really follow fashion, especially like living in Milan, you can see people who are wearing what is, but like even that is its own path of fashion. Like if you want to be wearing Gucci and Prada and those, you
Yeah.
can. And but it doesn't but if you're not wearing it at this point, my sister, I remember again, like China like destroyed my fashion because it was so different. And in China they do such crazy things. And like I said also, when I was gone in China, the hipster thing started. And before I went to China, there were sort of like rules about what you could wear, like
Right.
colors that, and then when
Yeah.
I came back from China, it looked like people just like picked out their clothes with their eyes shut. Like I saw people with things on that I was like, why are you wearing that? And I remember asking my sister, like, people are wearing black with brown or like brown shoes with the black belt or like stripes with spots. And you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And my sister was like, she was like, you can do whatever you want now. There are no rules about anything. I was like, really? She's like, nothing. There are no rules. Fashion is whatever you want to wear. And if some people try to wear things that are horribly mismatched, like that's their style.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So it's kind of nice, actually. It makes getting dressed a little bit easier.
Cynthia has the same opinion.
There it is, Cynthia. She got it.
She got it. In my opinion, every person
It's
has
true,
to
though.
express their personality. For this reason, I respect their style. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. And I think that's the beauty, for me at least, of living in Milan. Because in Milan, there are people who respect fads and trends, but there are people who, like you said, throw it all out the window.
Do you have any like guilty pleasure like fashion? Like I really love really horrible, right? You know, like those like sweatpants that have like ridiculous patterns on them.
Like the juicy.
I love these. I'm gonna get a pair of sweatpants that are behind me and show you. These are like my favorite sweatpants. And I love these so much. I love that I'm like actually going in my closet and getting things to show you. I don't know how well you can see this, but they're like there's chains on them. And then like there's also like there's like hibiscus. There's even hold on the side there's I don't know if I can show it to you so well. There's where is it? Where is it? There's a skull. There it is.
Right. Whoa.
I love these pants. You put them on and they are horrible. And I have to tell you though that like one time I wore these, they're pretty old now, but I right after I bought them so they still looked new and nice and stuff. I had these on and you know they're sweatpants so they're kind of like tight at the bottom and I had these like big black boots on with them.
Ooh.
And a black like sweatshirt, but that had like kind of like a high collar, and I looked pretty. I had, and this does not happen to me very often, but I had people on the street like just approaching me to talk to me, like hitting on me. I was like,
ooh,
what? Like sometimes I can do it right, but
you do it right. That look is pretty bad. It's bad. I wanted to say bad toot, but you get what I mean. It is. Love it.
Uh-huh. But I feel like I should start doing it again because I like dressing. I really like I like these really bold, like brash patterns. Like the sweater I have too. It's so bright. But I also like boots. I like big boots out with my pants tucked into the boots. Like I like that.
I like that.
I don't do it, do I? You know me. I
No,
don't do
you
it.
don't.
I gotta start moving back towards it. I gotta be me.
Okay, I'm gonna remind you about this as soon as this coronavirus season ends. I'm gonna remind you. You know, ooh, and we can wear matching clothes. I would like that. I'm weird.
Hi, Sylvia. I know, right? Sylvia's from our school in Milan. It'll be nice to see you again, Sylvia. To see you for real. What about the last question here? What is an example of a trend or fad that you participated in from the past? Are there any trends you hope never come back? I can think of one. I have one.
Okay, tell us.
This was when I was oh goodness, I can remember being taught how to do this. I was in 4th grade, which means I was probably like 9 years old. And Shandon Manning, I remember all of this. Shandon Manning, who taught me how to peg my pants.
What does that mean?
I know that you know what this is, but you probably call it something else. So this was a thing you did with jeans in like, this would have been like early mid 90s. Pegging your pants was when you, at the bottom of your pants, you like pulled the material and then you rolled it up.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, right. When you cuff your jeans. Right. Interesting.
Oh, cuff. Okay, we called it pegging, pegging your pants. And I was not pegging my pants. And I remember her during recess, which is like the pause during the day. She like very, because she was really fancy. She was cool girl at school. And she was like, Seth, you have really great jeans on today. And I need to show you how to peg your pants because I had penny loafers with white socks and acid wash jeans.
Oh,
I love my penny loafers.
Cynthia says that she was young in the 80s, so she was following Madonna's lead. That is a good lead to follow.
Cynthia, if you followed Madonna, you must have been like awesome.
Yeah,
Because
Madonna
she
in
did
the
crazy
80s.
stuff.
Wow.
Did you have like little gloves, Cynthia, and like lots of necklaces and like the hair that was kind of like disheveled hair?
Ooh, disheveled.
Madonna definitely. Madonna would have been, oh gosh, like Madonna created trends and created fads, like, and
Right.
she still does. Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a great word. What do we call a person who creates the trends?
Ooh, a trendsetter.
A trendsetter. But these are usually, well, today the trends they would be influencers, basically.
Absolutely.
What
And
we
I
call the influencers.
like Chiara Ferragni or Danielle Bernstein.
Yeah, I would say yeah. So the influencers are the trend. Is that's the word of this of the 21st century. Are the influencers?
Okay,
This was
unfortunately,
fun.
yeah, but we're almost at the end of our hour.
We
Sad.
are. This was fun.
It was absolutely.
But let's think real fast, just to go back. Some of that vocab. What do you remember from the matching activity? There was to catch on,
Mm-hmm. That was outdated.
to outdated, to be outdated, or yeah. Um,
To catch on.
there was one that come back,
To come back.
to come back into fashion. It's coming back. It's making a
Mm-hmm.
comeback. Um,
In style.
we had some nice words. I'm gonna in style. I'm gonna scroll through our comments a little bit to talk about some of these words that were nice. Um, yeah, so dated. We talked about things being dated. Oh, something that is always in style, timeless,
Mm-hmm.
or a classic. Matronly, so not such a nice word. Something old. Um, all right. Well, I think that's about what we've got today.
Yep.
It was very nice talking to you about these things. You look classic today. You have this nice black shirt, hair pulled back, glasses. It's good.
Professional look on.
Yeah. Thank you also, Cynthia. Thanks for sharing with us. Thanks for the chat. Sylvia, thank you for
Absolutely.
coming towards the end. She must have
We miss
woken up
you.
late. Yes. See you guys next time.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you so much for participating at 9 a.m.